Hello, hello. This is Yuri with Moving Sales Professionals and Let's Talk Moving podcast. And with me today, I got Amit Gal with Condor Moving Systems, a sales and moving expert with over 25 years in the moving industry. How you doing today, Amit?
Hello, everyone.
So, obviously you've been doing this for a very, very long time. So tell me, how did you get started? How did you get into the industry?
Well, honestly, starting in the moving industry, it's not like you're waking up one day and say, I want to be a mover, or it's just a coincidence of coming to the United States. I actually came out here to travel a little bit before going back to Israel to focus on my career, which I came out of a special unit in the Israeli military. I did get a job in the one of the drug enforcement units in the state of Israel. But I said I'm going to go travel. I did come to travel, started working for a moving company, and then from there, just kind of like the idea of the fast money that we could have made back in the early 2000s, and just opened my own company, and I've let it roll from there. I've started with one truck and driving around the United States, trying to book the job by myself, picking them up by myself, delivering them by myself, and through the years, we accomplished what we are today.
Okay. So what would you say is your biggest accomplishment over the last 25 years?
Having kids.
Well, that's the
Well,
biggest accomplishment for all of us, I think, but industry-wise,
if we're talking about
business-wise.
it,
And now for a word from our sponsors. If you're a moving business owner, you may have already heard of Moversville, an email marketing service that helps moving companies increase, repeat, and referral business. But have you heard of Moversville Connect? Moversville Connect is an incredible resource for all things moving. They feature an array of vendors and services that cater specifically to the moving industry. You can find companies that provide moving software, moving sales services, marketing services, moving equipment providers, and much, much more. Visit moversville.com today to learn more.
you're talking about industry wise,
Right.
obviously Condor is known around the United States. We always had a good reputation. If it's with other carriers or other companies out there, they know the way that we operate and they know the way we conduct business. We always come to the customer's house and on the highest scale of professionalism that we can offer, and that is something that I recommend to any other mover out there. When you do come to a customer's house, always come ready, look professional, and that's where they can have an additional at least 20% of trust in you because you do look like a reputable company. That's very important.
So if you would go back through all your years of experience, knowing what you know now, what would you change, if anything?
We started working by weight, and we've worked by weight for about 10 years. And I think working by weight does not really is a beneficiary for a moving company to work by weight with the public. It's only good to work if you work commercial or if you're moving to the corporate world or military, then you'll have to go by weight. Otherwise, cubic feet is the way to go. By weight, you'd lose money. Yeah, at the end of the day, through time, you're gonna make money, but you're gonna lose money. There's a lot of jobs that would just the weight would not decount. So that's one. Um, Other things that I would have done differently is maybe open more branches around the United States. And when I say more branches, it's not go crazy all over the 48 states. Have what we call meeting points that you can cover at least 4 states with one location. And then we'll work from there like a spider web.
Does your company need more creative marketing and ad campaigns to improve traffic and organic leads? Well, Moving Sales Professionals has a solution for you. We have partnered with social media marketing agency that has over 300 million views on their ads and videos across social media, and they have generated over $35 million for their clients over the last 10 years alone. Their services include content creation, social media ads, pay-per-click campaigns, website and funnel development, Google Ads, email marketing campaigns, lead generation, and much, much more. For limited time only, they have discounted rates for their services. Sign up for a free consultation call with us via our Calendly link on our website or below this video. Okay, so trying to create more of a network.
Yeah, but I mean, again,
Basically.
you have companies that will have, you know, a branch in Texas, and then they'll have a branch in Oklahoma, and then they'll have a branch in Missouri. There's no need for that. You can open one branch that can cover about four. I'll give you an example. If you open one in Kansas, you can have one that will cover Missouri, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Iowa, because they're all within the 200-mile radius, and that is something that one branch can cover. Likewise, if it's Illinois, you can cover Indiana, you can cover Michigan, you can cover all those areas. So again, open branches that will create a spider web, but not nothing for you to lose control and shove things in public storage is something I do not recommend for moving companies to do. Is just have jobs thrown in public storages all over the United States. I do not recommend that.
So you've done what you've done for the past 25 years. What is your goal for the next 25 years of Condor Moving Systems?
Yeah. You know, it's a good question. I mean, I know none of us really read the future, but at some point, obviously, um, at the end of the day, we're going to continue what we have right now on the same route, just because I see myself towards the end of my legacy in the moving industry, not in the beginning. So continue what I'm doing. Try to benefit what I can from the next few years and retire. Leave the business for my son, or just put a manager on over here and let him run the business. Have him get a percentage, and that would be. I don't want to hear anything more about the industry itself myself.
Okay. So obviously we've all been going through a tough time the last past few years here. Um, what are you doing to combat that, and what are you seeing? Are you seeing things changing in the near future? What is your
I mean, obviously,
view?
you always try to find new avenues to understand why is the why is the industry the way it is right now. You're trying, and it's a chain of reaction. It really, and obviously I saw it coming from a mile away. Once the interest rates kind of boosted up, it was just a matter of time before this is going to affect us. Um, in all reality, right now, the best thing to do is cut your cost as much as you can. Stay with the low overhead to survive these bad times that we have. But you know, back in the day, we could have foresee how the summer is going to be, and kind of give, you know, to predict how it's going to look, whether in the summer or the winter. But right now, I really don't know where the wind blows on this one. It all depends whether the interest rates will go lower and people will not be afraid to buy. Let's not forget it's also an election year, which usually on the election year, people are just staying put to see where the country is going with everything. So it's. I think this particular summer, some states will have a summer, not a strong one, and some won't. Last summer in the East Coast, everything was completely dry. Companies did not work like they're supposed to. Um, so I think this year is not going to be a strong year at all, just because of the election year. And again, the market and the public needs to have a bit of more trust about buying a new home and selling their home and etc. I think the prices are still a bit too high. They did go down about, let's say five to 10%, but it's not enough from a house that used to be 500,000, now it's 1 million. The problem is that a lot of people are stuck with those houses that they bought it through those times that houses market was so high, and now it's going to be very tough for them to get rid of them.
Absolutely. But I mean, ultimately, obviously, we're seeing this in our industry that the really, see the business overall is cyclical, and we're going through a lower cycle of it. And those of us that get through this hard time, we're going to be in better position when it rebounds. And of course, it will rebound, but nobody knows when, basically.
That is correct. That is correct. And unfortunately, it's always sad to hear about, you know, a lot of companies did already shut down, and it's very sad. It's very sad that we have to get to those times. And I've always tried to compare this year to 2008, and they're very, very similar. The difference between 2008 and this year, it's 2008 was a fast hurricane. It came quickly, but it left pretty fast too. That's why it did not affect also the stock market like this one here, that the recession is just lingering over us, and the hurricane is just a slow motion hurricane that I don't know whether it's going to go to the sea or whether it's going to make a U-turn and come back to us. So that's kind of tough to know right now.
I mean, I think part of the issue of so many companies going out of business too is that a lot of younger businesses came on board right around the time when we had that really crazy winter.
Correct.
And we did great, but for those of us that have been in the industry for a long time, we knew that that was a blip. We knew that that was not going to last. We knew that that's not the way of the industry, and we more or less prepared for it. But companies that were new to the business, they thought that this was the norm. And despite, I'm sure, advice from seasoned movers like yourself, uh, they made some decisions that affected them when the next winter came about. And between last summer being mild, obviously, very mild. I mean, we still booked, we still did jobs, but we certainly didn't feel like we were overwhelmed by any means. And a good summer, that's when you're swamped, movers tired, and you're overwhelmed. You have that feeling where like you're taking on more than you really should, and you have that, and at that point, winter time when things slow down, it actually comes as a relief. You can breathe out for a month or so before you start
Correct.
refocusing again, right?
Correct. And
Um,
it's also was some type of a wake up call to all the helpers out there, because the labor is what really is always been to be consistent in that industry. And um, movers wanted so much per day, and because again 2020 and 21 was just crazy. And now it took them a while to come out of that high horse that they're on. And you go around the United States right now, I think labor comes out to be to where it used to be. And that's actually a good sign, that labor went down drastically. But at this point, there is no work to give them, and that puts us in a tough situation, because when work will come, all those laborers already went to different industries, whether it's construction or other sites that they do, roofing or whichever the case is. So we might have some labor problems, not due to cost, more due to non-existence in the future. So we'll.
I'm not sure that I see that as the case, and the reason I don't is obviously I talk to a lot of companies, whether it's for the podcast or whether it's for our services, and
Uh-huh.
I spoke with a company, I want to say about a month ago, maybe a month and a half. And this gentleman basically told me that he wants to do 8 jobs. And I'm like, I'm asking him, I'm just saying, like a week, a day, what is, but no, if I want to do 8 jobs a month. I'm like, you sure you want to open up a moving company? Because if you're trying to do 8 jobs a month, you're not a mover. You're a helper, you're a labor, but you're definitely you're doing that as additional thing on the side. It's a side job. You can't survive as a company. You cannot survive on 8 jobs a month.
Of course.
So hearing that tells me there's probably plenty of people that have that type of mentality that do the side work. So as long as there are people that are willing to do the side work, there's going to be labor.
You know, I'm talking to you as somebody that used to have, and in the summertime, if I run between 10 and 12 crews, I'd like to have about four. I do not like to have less than four people on the truck. Per team, it has to be about four guys, just because we're trying to finish the day quick, whether it's hot or we have a busy day tomorrow. So obviously, four guys on the truck can accomplish the job. I can tell you from a Texas perspective, for a company, I'm not talking about a one-man operation. Finding a couple of guys to help you out, you might be able to do it. But when you come on a larger scale of bringing guys in, and again, I might be wrong, but the way that I see right now, a lot of those guys that used to be in the moving industry are not anymore. They're actually out there doing other things. Now,
Right.
it could be that once the industry comes back to the normal, that they'll say, hey, come on back. Some of them will, but some of them may not. And that's something we'll have to wait and see where the wind blows again.
Yeah, yeah. That is definitely true. So, what would you recommend to somebody that wants to get in the industry right now, if anything?
Just stay on a very well. First, it's a bad time to go inside this industry. It's like, I'm telling you right now, go to your farm to pick up the tomatoes, but there's no tomatoes. It's still not the time for it to grow. But if you are coming into it, or you're prepping yourself for the summertime, whether it's insurance, a truck, and licensing, whichever the case is, stay low, stay really low. No harsh overheads or any of that nature. Just stay low. So like this, when there is work, you can actually make money versus paying money back on overheads that are unnecessary right now.
Okay, well, great. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate your
You're welcome.
time to join us this morning. And once
And
again, as I always say, the world moves on its own, so let the professionals move yours for you. Thank you for joining our podcast. Please like, subscribe, and support the podcast and view us through all the channels, Spotify, Pandora. Obviously, we're here on YouTube and other channels as well, iTunes, etc., etc., etc. Support our Instagram, TikTok. We're all around. Thank you very much for joining us once again, Amit. Thank you for your insight.
yes, sir.